Well, what is going on, gang? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. It's very nice to have you here today. I have got something new from Begg Knives on the table. This is the Diamici. This is a JVO design, or Jared Van Otterloo, and it is one of their new sort of budget-friendly tools that they're bringing out, and it is exceptionally well done. Now, these are about 120 bucks, which in the world of budget knives isn't that budgety, but here's the thing. I have been collecting Begg knives for a long time, and it is not unusual to spend 400 bucks or more on a Begg knife. Now, these two in particular are old school. This is the Glimpse 7.0. This is the Quaken, the Sun Tzu edition. This is the Field Marshal. These are very expensive, and Begg knives have always been very expensive. However, now that Begg is being run by the people that are running Begg Knives, and Todd Begg has gone off to do his own thing, they started leaning into the idea of budget-friendly knives a while ago. One of the first that I saw was this. This is a mini bodega. This is part of a run of, they took a shot at a series of budget-friendly knives. This never got released. This is steel and D2. It's got a really nice G10 backspacer, which I think is very cool. But this is just, they were trying, right? Looking for ways to make knives that could bring these designs to a broader market. And I think it's a good idea. I mean, if you want to spend the money, the expensive stuff is still out there. But now they have a whole run of budget-friendly versions of their more popular knives and some new stuff. It looks like Dirk is going to be sending me, by the way, I got this through a third party, but from Dirk Warning. Looks like Dirk's going to send me a whole box of their budget stuff. So you'll be seeing more of this coming. But for now, this one is mine, and I'm really happy. It's very cool. The Diamici here is D2. It is steel. It is G10 inlays, and there are no gaps, no spaces, no errors. This thing is incredibly clean in its overall fit and finish. It does have a G10 backspacer. Now, I will say the problem with steel-framed knives is that as pretty as this is, if you carry this thing, and I hope you would, it won't stay this pretty for long. Stainless steel is easy to scratch. But so far, this one is clean and pretty. Let's take a look at what you get for your $120. You get just under 3 inches of cutting on just at 3 inches of D2 steel. You get 3 and almost 3.5 inches of grip space. So my fingers hang off the tail, but because of this incredibly lovely neutral design, it's not a big deal. It is very comfortable in hand. The way this is shaped back here, it sits into the palm very nicely. Action on the Diamici here. It is a liner lock, as you can see inside the steel liners. I mean, there's steel liner inside the steel scales. It's jimped, so you can get your finger on it, which is nice. The action is very snappy, which is good. It does have a lovely sharpening choil at the bottom of this plunge. It's got the Todd Begg logo on one side and the JVO logo on the other. Overall, from tip to tail, it is a small knife. You're coming in at just 7 inches. Right, overall. The closed length, I will say that I wish this was a little more proud. You get your thumb in there. You can, but it'd be nice if it was a little taller. But anyway, closed length on the Diamici here, we're coming in at just a hair, a millimeter over, but it's basically 4 inches. And the in the pocket profile is really nice. It's a very lean and small knife. It does have a flipper tab. There's a little bit of jimping here, but none back here. So you're not going to be jabbing stuff in your pocket too much with it. We're coming in at an 1.16". It is a really lean knife. Now, because it is all steel construction, it is, it's in your hand. It's a little weighty, but here's what I've learned. With smaller knives, this is the same. I like them to be a little heavier because it makes me at least feel like I have a little more control over them while I'm using them. Stuff like this makes me happy. It really does. Let's do some size comparisons, and then we'll do some, well, we did the specs. Let's do some size comparisons just so you know. There it is. No, where did our bug out go? There it is. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. As you can see, the bug out is in fact a bigger knife. The Diamici is a small cutting tool, but there's room for that. You don't always want a big knife, and sometimes you want a little tiny knife, in which case, here you go. Every time I set this thing down on the table, the G10 is gorgeous. This thing is really pretty. Let's do it against something bigger. Here it is, I can say full-size grip. As you can see, that's just going to dwarf it. Recently, I reviewed this. This is the Moyarl from Migueron. God, I hate that name. Anyway, as you can see, it's even smaller than that. Look, it's just not a big knife, and that's okay. It is relatively thick because it is a liner lock. They gave themselves some room here, and so it is comfortable in the hand in a way that really narrow knives are not. It is clean with no jimping, but you're not really going to be doing hard work with this thing anyway, at least not hard use. The D2 is beautifully done. The bevel is nice and clean, as you can see, right? It is wonderfully sharp. This has come through a couple of hands before it landed with me. The spine is crowned. Everything is rounded. Nothing is sharp on this knife except right where you want it to be. It's just a neat piece of kit. Let's weigh it. See what that's going to come out as. All right. 4.1 ounces. Yeah, I mean, for a 3-inch blade, 4.1 ounces is a little above that ounce per inch that people tend to aim for, but it ain't bad considering. And let's see how much of that D2 you get. Now, it is beveled. I said crowned, but it isn't rounded. It's in fact just beveled, right? So it steps a little bit right here. So it's thicker than it looks when you're looking straight down at it. But we're looking at 3 inches, 3 millimeters of D2. And the overall handle is 12.5 millimeters, which is not too bad. I just think it's a neat knife. I really do. As I said, I'll be getting more of these, this sort of new budget-friendly line, and I will happily take a look at them. Because this one belongs to me, I will be doing comparisons against this one as they show up. If you just want a clean, easy to carry, easy to use, but really, really good-looking knife. Now look, here's the thing. $120 is a lot of money for D2 and steel. I'm not gonna say anything different. But I've had a lot of budget-oriented knives come through the channel. I've owned hundreds of them. The fit and finish on this knife is not budget knife quality. It is absolutely beyond that. It is right hand, as you can see, tip up only. Look at the fitment of this inlay. I have $300 and $400 knives that are not this well done. So I don't know where these guys are getting this factory work done, but damn, they are doing a good job. Anyway, I'll put a link to this and to all of the budget stuff in the description if you're interested. This, again, is the Begg Knives Diamici, D-I-A-M-I-C-I. It is one of their new lines. I don't know that much about Jared Van Otterloo, but I'm going to dig into it now because that's a well-sorted pocket knife for sure. If you have any questions about a Diamici or any of my knives, feel free to ask down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. We'll see you next time.